Nobody is covering this story from the Middle East, but it is a growing problem that affects the entire region and the world. There are ongoing outflows of refugees from the northern Syrian city of Aleppo. This comes after clashes between the Syrian Defense Forces, which are Kurdish led, and the Syrian Army. Aleppo is right here in the northwest of Syria towards the Turkish border. The reason that fighting has broken out is because of a breakdown between inclusion of the SDF into the Syrian army. Specifically, there were disagreements over how much autonomy the Kurdish people and Kurdish military would have in the region. This breakdown has actually led the Syrian military to shell a Kurdish neighborhood in Aleppo. There's a couple of important things to look at here in terms of regional stabilization and power center. The first is that the Kurdish region stretches in an uninterrupted band throughout the Middle East. Their population is between 35 and 40 million, and due to their long history of persecution, they oftentimes help one another in case of military problems. There have already been reports of demonstrations in support of the Kurds in Aleppo from Europe as well as Turkey and Iraq. Moreover, some indication that military hardware is being sent to support the SDF. There are a couple of other complications which are worth noting in this situation. The SDF is considered a terrorist organization by Turkey. Meanwhile, the United States has previously supported and armed the SDF because they did a good deal of the heavy lifting against the Islamic State. Meanwhile, the US is also supporting the al-Shara administration in Syria, which is the Syrian Army. So you essentially have two forces with US support, Turkey and Syria, against the SDF, who previously had support from the US. Now, the United States has not weighed in on this conflict other than saying, please stop doing this. But this is a particularly combustible situation for a couple of reasons. The first is the fact that the Syrian government has an imperative to project power throughout all of Syria, especially major city centers like Aleppo. Meanwhile, it's the Turkish imperative to make sure that Kurdish forces don't gain too much power on its border. The Kurdish-led SDF will continue to protect its power centers as well as Kurdish neighborhoods in Aleppo. But one of the most concerning things is this. The SDF currently administers and protects large areas of eastern Syria, including the AlHol refugee camp. AlHol is the home of tens of thousands of refugees who were linked to the Islamic State. They're mostly women and children. This is a massively under-resourced camp, and it is seen as a sort of incubator for the next generation of the Islamic State if it is no longer administered. Please share and follow for more underreported news.